Good morning, Stampers. Are you ready for a mystery case? We have a new mystery case clue for July 20th, so let's go ahead and get started. We are to have a card base, 2 panels that are 2 by 5 1/4 each. Those panels could be designer series paper, they could be cardstock you stamp on, or it could be cardstock of coordinating color. You're going to want to pick a stamp set with coordinating dies or punches, because we're going to want some 3D items. You might want to use an embossing folder. A framelit or a paper punch for the sentiment you choose. I said 2 layers. If you only do 1 layer, it's your card, make it your way. But those 2 layers could be vellum and cardstock or cardstock on cardstock, just giving you some ideas. And then you want coordinating colors of ink. So today I'm going to create a card using the Peaceful Boughs stamp set, and I'm using the coordinating dies for this as well. So these are the dies I'm using. I've got this big leafy branch, I've got 2 pine cones, and then this die for the sentiment. Okay, so those are the ones I'm using. I'm also using the greenery embossing folder for this tiny little leaf pattern. I thought that would coordinate well. So all that's going to be used. I'm using Seaside Spray, Soft Suede, and Old Olive as 3 colors I've chosen to use. So my card base is going to be the Seaside Spray. I have 2 panels, 2 by 5 1/4, that I'm going to put side by side on my card. Now, the Old Olive I've done with the embossing folder. Set that aside for a minute. The Whisper White, I'm going to stamp my own designer series paper. So I'm going to start with the Old Olive, and I'm going to stamp a couple of boughs. So, however you want to put them on here. They don't all have to be going the same direction. You don't have to hold the whole image, just enough to put some color on there. Now I'm going to use Soft Suede, and I'm going to stamp some pine cones. So wherever you feel like they fit in nicely, go ahead and put your pine cones in. Okay, now the next thing I want to do is I want to fill in the white space, okay? And I'm going to use my 3rd color, my Seaside Spray, and I'm going to use the dot stamp from the stamp set. This could be considered, you could think of it as snowballs or snowflakes or just a filler stamp, but I'm going to stamp all of my paper right over the other images too, because I want to fill in that white space. Now it's not going to be completely filled, but it's going to bring this 3rd color into my stamped designer series paper. So, okay, so there we have that. So now this is how easy this card case is. We're going to put them side by side. So being 5 1/4, they're already going to be stuffed in from the 2 ends, and by being 2 inches each together, that's 4 inches. So when they're next to each other, that will also be stamped in from the sides. So when you put them on, you just want to try to make sure that your framing around the top and the edge are about the same, because the total gap will be the same when they're put together. And then just slide this one next to it, square up your top and bottom, and just put them side by side. Okay, so there's that. Now, I have already die cut out of Old Olive this bough and 2 of the pine cones out of the Soft Suede. Okay, and I've also die cut from Whisper White this piece that comes from that same Beautiful Boughs die set. I'm going to stamp my sentiment on the Whisper White here, so I can see through my block to get that positioned, just like so. Now I've cut another piece of Seaside Spray that I'm going to use to back that. So, do I want to lift it? No, I think I'm going to just put that straight down. So, if you want to pop it up on dimensionals, you could, but this time I'm just going to put it straight on my layer. So just center it, make sure your framing around the edges is about right. Now this one I am going to put on dimensionals. Let me go ahead and add dimensionals so that's ready to go here in a minute. Okay, so This is going to go on my card, kind of one side or the other, however you decide to put it in. You can put it right in the middle if you want to. But I've got these fun layers to use too. So now I could dangle it down like a branch, right? And put this more up here. And I could have these guys coming down like this, right? That could work. Let's try some more placements. I could put this on. I could have this coming out from this side and put the pine cones on. So see, I'm just playing with my pieces. It's like a puzzle that hasn't been put together yet. So however you want to lay it out. I think I like it going down, so we're going to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to add my sentiment's going to go here. So I'm going to go ahead and add just some snail right onto my card. I know, oh, shocker, put snail right on the front of my card, but I know I'm going to cover it up, so I'm safe. So I'm just going to put this here. Now I have to make sure it's going to fit within my card boundaries, but now I can push that right down into that adhesive so it stays. Okay, now I'm going to add my sentiment right over where that adhesive is. Now if you don't feel comfortable doing what I just did, you can put adhesive on the back of this and put it down. I didn't see the fuss with it all. Alright, so now this is going to go, let me think, I want to step it in a bit. I don't want to hide too much of that bow. How about there? Yeah, okay. So there we go. So now we're just going to add these ties. So now these guys, I could either have them on top, right? I could pair them on top like that, or I could have them coming in from underneath. I think I'm going to go from underneath. So since they're going to be underneath, I'm going to go ahead and use a glue dot. If I was going to put them on the top, I would use my fine tip glue so that I would only add a little bit of adhesive. But since I know I'm going to tuck them underneath, those glue dots won't be trouble for me. So I'm just going to tuck this one under, and I'm going to add this one to this side. So they're just peeking out from underneath there. So there's our card. Now let's see, if I had my Wink of Stella on the table, it's good to craft in my own space where I can just reach over and get it off a different table. I'm going to add some Wink of Stella to these pine cones. Now I've decided to add it after I put it on my card. If you wanted to put it on before, that might be a smarter time to do it, but when I'm crafting on the fly, sometimes that's the way it happens. So the other thing, now that I'm thinking about it, is I might have wanted to use shimmer paper for my panel and my sentiment, because then this glimmer on the pine cones, it would all tie in. But I'm going to have to deal with what I have. So there we go, everybody. There is our case. Oh, I have one more panel. So this is for the inside. And what I thought I would do is I would repeat this stamping, but on this edge. So how am I going to keep it from getting too high up? I'm going to use my sheet here. So I'm going to line this up on my grid paper. I'm going to put this about an inch. Yeah, we can go about an inch. Okay, so make sure everything's square on your grid paper. I've got that masked off about an inch up from the bottom. So I've got to hold all that, hold all that firm. Yep. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and stamp my bows again. And I'm going to add some pine cone. I think I'll stick with the little ones. And I'm going to go ahead and do blue dots again too. So everything is just mimicking the panel that I stamped on the front. But I'm going to have a nice clean line because I'm masking it off as I go. See that? Then one more sentiment for the inside. Stamp the front in the seaside spray, so we'll stamp the inside in the seaside spray. And I don't know, up here or down here? I've been leaning towards putting it near the bottom. lately and leaving more space for your note or whatever you want to put inside. So now I'm just going to add adhesive and I'll line my card. You could also stamp up that same image on your envelope, right? If you're going to stamp a card, stamp an envelope. I don't have an envelope on the table today, but there we go. So, what do you think? There is our case. So, challenge for you is to, using the same concept of parts, go ahead and make a card of your own. Snap a photo, email it to me at susan@pumpkinhillstampers.com. I will share it, and then we'll see what everybody else makes. So I hope you enjoyed. I've got more projects like this to share with you this week, so stay tuned and follow the blog. All right, everybody, have a great day. Have fun crafting this week, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.